G'day and welcome to welcome to Ogijima. I lived here for about 4 months and I absolutely love the place. Come on, I'd love to show you around. This is Douglas Stuart's guide to Ogijima.
So where are we? Ogijima is in Japan's Seto Inland Sea, about 40 minutes by ferry from Takamatsu. And what does Ogijima, locally known as Ogi, actually mean? Let's look at the 3 characters that make up the name. It's literally Man Tree Island, and interestingly enough, it's right next to Megijima. Yep, you guessed it, Woman Tree Island. Ogi is tiny. You can walk around it in an hour or so, and it's home to about 160 people. The great thing about this island is that it's relatively unknown, so don't let this video go viral. The majority of tourists head to the bigger islands nearby like Naoshima and Shodoshima. If you're looking for big ticket items, Ogi is probably not for you. But if you want authentic Japanese island culture, then you're in the right place. So what's worth seeing? Ji no Ana, the cave, isn't really well promoted, but it's definitely worth checking out. And if you're looking for a good vantage point on the north, head up to Tank Rock. The steps here at Toyotamahime Shrine are one of the most popular places on the island for Instagrammers. And there's extra points on offer if you manage to get one of the ferries in the background. Ogi is one of the so-called art islands of the Seto Inland Sea, and there are some pieces permanently on display, and every 3 years there's an art festival with installations set up in some of the old houses and buildings. So this is the soul of Ogijima, and while it's incredibly beautiful, it can also be incredibly dangerous.
Just hit my head and it really hurts. Probably stating the obvious, but this is the lighthouse. And although the water here may look very inviting, probably best not to swim here. The current is extremely strong. This beach has the best range of skimming rocks that I've ever seen. The water all around the island is completely beautiful, and sometimes you just want to go and just jump into the water.
My favorite beach is actually right near the main port.
It's a beautiful private beach. You can't get to that beach from a boat, so you have to swim there.
The beaches near the fishing port are much more accessible.
もともと漁港だったあの場所は、今から何年目かな、35年ぐらい前にはずっと一本の綺麗な砂浜で、僕たちはよくそこで子供の頃はまだプールがなかったんでよく泳いでました。
There are lots of swimming options, but you have to get the times right so the tide isn't too low. The passage on the north of Ogi is known as the Ginza of the Sea, and it's said to be busier than Tokyo Port. And sailors aren't the only ones passing through the waters. Wild boar actually swim to Ogi, and once they arrive, they're not welcomed by people with gardens, and they face the danger of being trapped and killed. There were some locals who wanted to promote Ogi as a cat island, but others are fiercely opposed. Some tourists come specifically to see and feed the cats, but the feline population is now on the decline after a successful sterilization program. The triangles cut from their ears serve as markers to indicate proof of more consequential mutilations. The library functions as the island's cultural hub where new residents are welcomed and events take place. One of the books on the shelves at the library is the best-selling novel Battle Royale. On the inside cover is a map of the fictitious island named Ogijima.
But when you read the book, it's actually very clear. The author came here and inspired himself from here to write and describe his island.
My favorite part of Ogi is the stone wall settlement. Narrow streets cling to the side of steep hills, and you can walk between the old houses and imagine you've been transported to simpler times. Just walk downhill if you get lost, and you should end up back at the main port. Unfortunately, some over-enthusiastic visitors wander into people's homes to take a closer look. Don't be one of these people. There are lots of wells, and although there is now town water, many homes still rely on well water. You won't see many cars on Ogijima. You're much more likely to see onba. Onba? Traditionally used to cart babies around, onba are now a symbol of the island, and locals use them to move goods up and down the steep streets. The last boat back to Takamatsu leaves at 5 p.m, but who am I to stop you pitching a tent on the flat ground near the harbour if you want to stay the night?
So that's my guide to Ogijima. I appreciate you watching it. I'd like to thank Captain Inoue. He let me use some of the vision from his drones and also that vision from the boat of the wild boars swimming. So thank you. Now if you've liked this video, please feel free to check out the other videos on my channel. And I don't mind if you like, subscribe, leave some comments, share them with friends. Anyway, I'll see you next time.